So what these generally are it's basically a video log of me doing things, doing stuff, mostly healing and clearing, but also side projects as well. So take that to mind, take that to heart. I'm not really showing anything besides just a log of my travels, a log of what I do. I've been really busy as of late. I've been helping a friend on her birthday, and I've sustained several injuries since. In the beginning of this video, you see me with basically something in my teeth. It looks like I've got something, like I've got part of my teeth missing, but I don't. And yeah, I'll be uploading a few more of these, and just me doing things. See you guys there. Many of the modalities and stuff that I've mentioned have been previously updated. This is basically from March 5th to like March 20th or something, 23rd. I'm going to be like March 27th because I'm still catching up. But I experienced many video problems basically because my phone won't record, and that's why basically you see a lot of things starting and stopping. And that's kind of why it's taking me so long, because I've lost most of my footage because it never recorded in the first place. I've got a means and method to check against this. I basically got it mostly sorted and situated out. And yeah, just enjoy. Hope you guys enjoy best you can. I don't really say too much. If I have anything really concrete or meaning or worthwhile to pass on, I'll just pass it on to you directly through the comments. When it comes to eating foods, eat foods happily, joyfully, joyously. Don't worry about things too much. Trust your intuition, basically. But yeah, there's been a ton of things I've been doing as far as healing, clearing, and basically taking care of business on my side. And this is just a log of my travels.
outside. The door is locked and barricaded, but there's no place to hide. I know it knows that I'm in here as it lurks in the night. Silver eyes flash from the tree line, filling me with fright. I only saw it once, so it's hard to describe, but its face was as clear as day. Looking back at me from the outside was a thing with my face. I don't know what it was, but I'm sure it's nothing good. How long had it watched me walking through these woods? I can hear myself calling to me, asking myself for aid, but I know it's a ruse from the thing with my face. Oh, the thing with my face. Oh, the thing with my face. If I can make it until dawn, I might have a chance to escape, but the dark pitch of the night conceals its awful shape. I hear claws raking at the door as it rattles in the frame, but the sun is cresting the hill like the howl of the insane. I only saw it once, so it's hard to describe, but its face was as clear as day. Looking back at me from the outside was a thing with my face. I don't know what it was, but I'm sure it's nothing good. How long had it watched me walking through these woods? I can hear myself calling to me, asking myself for aid, but I know it's a ruse from the thing with my face. Oh, the thing with my face. I pull the boards from the door after an hour of dreadful silence. The door is scratched to pieces, marred from terrible violence. I run to my vehicle, car keys in hand, but from behind I feel a taloned hand. It's nothing good. How long had it watched me walking through these woods? I can hear myself calling.
Laughing at a comment that I made. The body exchange, and come away with me. Come away with me. Come away with me, darling. Come away with me. Darling, it's you. That's like the prettiest throw. That works. More sticks. Is this more sticks? Oh, more sticks. It takes a little bit of the fertility away from these trees, and it gives it back to my fruit trees. Instead of them getting continuously bigger, this will help my own trees get to continuously bigger, because they basically feed off the same supply, which is like the nutrients and fertilizers which I'm giving them. But like this, that helps to reset the balance, or to redistribute the balance is what it's doing. Yeah, chemtrails, nothing to worry about, guys. Oops. What's more to worry about is the compounds and estrogens within your plastics. That's way more of a concern. That's actually what's giving you guys the headaches. Not those basically inert elements, which they use to help form clouds. To form the clouds. I'm going to show you guys a little bit about reinforcing the cables. I've done mine so that if I tug or pull on them, it doesn't immediately snap or damage the cable. So I'm doing one right now. This one's on the ground. I'll give you guys a short overview process of that. Oh, what's that? I'm gonna look at my pants or something. Realizing that one of my videos, I'm not gonna say which one actually did that. Yeah, this is my extension cable. But yeah, this is my extension cable. Here it goes. Alright, somewhere like that. And what I've already done here is made a base reinforcing layer. So like, whatever thread that you have most of, I'm going to be using black, just for instance. Yeah, remember, badass bottle. I'll be using black. It's a very easy thread to get hold of, easy color to get hold of. There's nothing really all that special about it, because you want to build up. You want to build up layers first, basically. Because it takes a lot of this in order to get anywheres. But when you don't have heat shrink, which can easily fit over this and shrink down to a usable size, you use thread. You can just simply use threading. Hold on. What I actually did for this, because I want it to be flush whenever I build this up. I want all the edges to be flush, not stucking over like this. You need something like an adhesive or an epoxy. It's better to use an adhesive. You want it to remain infinitely flexible. B7000 is really good because it's cheap and it wets into things. It's very viscous. It's very watery. Soaks into things pretty well. Gooning to Shrek. Hear me out, guys. I was gooning to Shrek. No, it's just a chat thing on Mia's chat. Twitch is crazy. Oh my god. You guys are really rude on chat. Shit. What the fuck? Shiro's right. It's a different kind of people, different kind of company. You guys are not hesitant to throw things at people just to make a muck. Just interrupt the streamer's attention. To be Riley and to be everyone wants to be heard, right? poor girl couldn't even get in a word in edgewise almost, just about. Till you guys run out of money. I see. Twitch. And so I do that to... You'll see. You do diagonals like this because that helps to put threads down both vertically and horizontally as you overlap them like this. And so I don't know exactly how damaged the wires are within inside this thing, so it's me to do this. So one of the first things I like to do is to immediately right up at the base, just build up a layer which for that slantwise threading to basically ride across. This basically helps to build up a, what's it called, a foundation, a shield wall, a foundation. So that when this wire does bend, it basically pushes against these completely horizontal fibers. And it transmits it back to the head. And I'll start going across long ways. And I do this for every one, because I like using the colorants last, the colored threads, because that gives it the most highlight and detail. Some of y'all have very great presence. Y'all have learned to be steady and to cultivate that. It's very cool. It's very cool to see. Especially without even teaching you. You simply have just seemed to pick that up, just simply due to your lifetime experience, your Akash. And just as a teacher, I'm really proud to see that. Gunita Shrek. Mia. Thank you, Mia, for basically teaching a population as best you can to update them about the physics of biology. You're my hero in so many ways, dear soul. All of you. as many times as needed until you feel safe. It takes a lot of this. Because you're using a single thread, it's not that much material. It builds up slowly, rather slowly. As you just keep looping it up and down, crisscross, crisscross. You do the circles to help build up bulk very quickly. But if you can, you want to continue to do the crisscross pattern. I believe there's other rules or physics to it than that, but right now this is just where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. It's worked so far. I'm just going to do a bunch of these smaller loops, break it off right here. And this is where I take my B7000. Hopefully the wire hasn't broken during this. Tamp down the string first, the end first. I'll just use the middle part, and also just spread it all over, or spread it out and all over like this. And because there's a fair bit of solvent, it soaks in pretty readily. In the this adhesive B7000. It's just a name. It's a clever name that they have. There's nothing really all that significant about it, I don't think. But this helps to bond and protect the layers. It helps to bond and protect the outsides from abrasion. It bonds them together slightly so that it's a little more structurally sound, more strong. What others said to me, precious sweet, but it heals more quickly, like a fire, like the rain. Like a fire, like the rain. Gosh, yeah. Just like that, it pretty much fixes up that end. Hold on, you adjust the data rate on this so it's not so high. It doesn't actually need to be that high. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Yeah, it doesn't need to actually be that high. One good thing about having short hair is that you don't create long hair. You don't create long hair anymore, basically. I was laughing because I'm realizing that some of my audience may be deaf. Not deaf, but just sight blind. And they have to rely upon my voice. And I like keeping silent because it holds the energy. But I like having lighter colored colors towards the end, or more neutral colors towards the parts that are closer to your body, so it doesn't detract as much from your attention as a bright red tip would. I have that plugged in towards the phone, the blue tip towards my face, towards the body. It sort of helps me to identify plugins. I use red highlights for the male ends, for the jacks, and the softer blues or more muted colors for the female, the receptor ends. Yeah, chemtrails are nothing to worry about, guys. Even me standing outside, if it doesn't affect a Vata body type, if it doesn't perturb his chemistry, it's not going to perturb yours. It's not going to mess with yours, like at all. You really have to ingest like large amounts of it, or not have transmuted any of it properly. And if you don't take any focus outside with your body, you generally kind of will. Just with life, just with things. But no, it's nothing to worry about. gist of it. Once it dries, you can actually touch it and tamp it down like that briefly, so that it looks and stays and remains more neat. Alright, just wanted to show you guys that. Good. Alright. Doing some practical examination. We're gonna walk down to walk here. This feels natural. There's a waterway here. Basically eliminate that. Because, yeah, when you design things in life, this is the when you design things in life, you want them to be natural, like you wanted to. Ooh, that felt pretty good right here. Next to the bushes. Because next to the bushes you can grab on, you can feel where you're going. You're not too far from the house if you simply walk down this ways. And that would irrigate all of this. Put a natural drainage so it doesn't run off so much. Right here. Right here. Right here. And I moved all of this. That's why I got that bald patch. It's filling back in again. I moved this over so you could walk on it like this. So when you grab your cane, you hit the side of that and you start walking along. That's pretty cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks. It's probably why it felt, huh? Sort of a greatly abbreviated process, but that thermal fuse is blown, so I'm just going to remove it and basically short it out. Making an access window. In case you ever need to perform this repair yourself, the reason why this happens is because this thermal fuse blows. It blows. And one of the ways you can either replace this with a one that resets by itself, or you can basically just short it out. No one really recommends shorting it out. You should always use a suitable replacement. You can always try to find it. You can always find a fuse which is resettable and basically resets on its own. Normally closed, but opens when it's too hot. You can find those. This is basically just a one-time fuse. Basically, once it burns out, that's it. Basically, you cut that piece off. Basically, allow this wire to slide out so it can basically access this little fuse. I'm just gonna short it straight out from that wire to that wire and leave it at that. Updated my soldering iron, or replaced the tip because the tip was missing. Basically, just melted that leg completely off. So I'm just going to shove that wire forward just a little bit. I'm just going to attach it directly to it. Alright, it's reasonably attached with solder. I basically just shoved a piece of that plastic in there. I'm going to take some of this glue compound so it doesn't move around. Just leave it at that. That's it. That's my repair. Jesus. Shoosh. because it's moving slower. Move slower. Frick this hat. By the way, the hand movements are to help direct energy. You are, I guess, dealing with others. So when you're trying to heal others, you basically use your. Don't want to waste your energy. Making sure that it's all spent. There's 3 different types of rain energy so far. There's that which comes from the head. It's most electrical. It's the lightest. It moves the most freely of the 3. Then there are those which come from the body, or from the heart, which moves about second slowest. Then there's the third, which comes from the body itself, which is like a yellowish energy. It's a little more dense. It moves more slowly. is more plentiful. Doing those specifically for the servers, server rooms, and data centers. That's all I have the energy for. It's gotta push back. I just gotta push back. I draw energy differently to me now. Instead of basically scaling or grading it up between like how I used to, basically taking it all, taking very little, between 3 or 5%, 1 to 5% basically. Now it just feels like because I've practiced it so much, it just feels like a little pinpoint. It's like it feels like 0.5%. And instead of using that searching feeling that I was doing, and kind of carefully skimming off the top of y'all, now I just use that pinpoint focus. It just goes through it. I can move it. I can just draw it very quickly from it. I can spin it around if I want or need to. God, the energy takes a long time to get here. It moves fast, considerably, but so I guess I'll just talk. When you're healing others, basically when I was doing that, it's focusing more on the abdominals, and basically healing all the guts and cavity inside. And this is basically to heal and strengthen that circulatory system within. Basically the blood vessels, the heart, basically the nervous spinal column, so anything that's within that coelomic cavity. It's just healing and balance everything all out of the guts, the bladder, the pancreas, the liver. I just heal that straight up and down. If they need real recovery, I'll try to focus it. I'll try to anchor that energy more physically, more gravitally in, using gravity basically to focus it. Putting the rest of it away for now. About 16 or 12%. It wasn't nearly as strong this time. We'll see that next times. Okay. And if I haven't said so before, connection is the most important thing. It's the most important aspect of our world. When you've completely lived through life and you've gone through it again and again, and you're at the end of it, you're basically at the soul spirit level. Your body has transitioned. One of the most important aspects is connection. It's the hearts that you touch. It's the lives of the souls that you touch. And that was one of the big things about Jesus Christ. Was because he had touched lives. People remembered him. They knew him well. They weren't going to forget him anytime soon, and many of you haven't. Even today. That's why you call him the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings. That, and for many other reasons as well. My people equip me. They recognize me for who I am. But I just want to be known as Dean in this lifetime. It's one word, so it's a very easy name to say. It just has one syllable, Dean. D-E-A-N. That's it. It's very easy to spell, very easy to pronounce. There's no two syllables. There's almost nothing that we can't do. We can make a person live almost forever. Now, how much is that worth to some of you all? And how can I get some of you to help me? That's the big question, from my perspective, my point, my vantage. I'm already realizing my worth as one of the most powerful shamans, the most powerful healer in the world. No one has the ability like I do, and no one truly ever has. It usually takes dozens of people to perform a healing accurately, to do it well. But I command a lot of energy. And my skills are vast. They're untapped, they're still unknown. There's still many I haven't even used yet. The power of the heart is almost everything when it comes to almost everything. It's how you stay connected to yourself, to others. Just leave your heart open, leave your mind, your pineal open, your third eye, your happiness center, the frequency, the resonance point of your biology. %82 over baseline. It didn't increase as much this time. I think that's because we put a greater focus on, I don't know. But this will help to eliminate or smooth out some of the low spots, I guess. Some of the more vital requirements which we were missing. Moore's laws was sold to you. You're not going to get advanced technology by basically increasing the speed of your devices or by shrinking them smaller. You need to slow them down completely. There's little... Do you see that little silver box? Those little silver boxes basically... It basically includes like a rate limiting chip. This thing cycles and functions at 50,000 megahertz. Why on earth? No, it's just 50 megahertz. 50 megahertz. Okay, it's better. It's still way too fast, and it's not variable. I don't know what is that based off of? Is that a crystalline? Is that a quartz crystalline frequency timing, which is basically induced that they have to follow? So that oscillation rate takes energy. It takes a resonance and an input of focus from them. And it takes physical energy for them to do this, for them to keep those harmonizations in focus, to keep them going, to keep them lined, to keep them matched up. And if we can remove that with something that's more variable, that's more open-ended, take out those frequency timing things, those devices, those chips that I see on all of these hard drives, all of these, on any phone, on any computer, or any desktop. There's a little silver box which basically commands the frequency of the whole thing in some certain ways. A lot of you that are having computer problems, it's not about the speed of your device, it's about the metal that's covering them. You need to remove that shit off. You need to remove that off. One of the most expensive things that I've owned was a gaming computer. And by removing most of the metal components off the RAM chips, the motherboard itself, off of the graphics card itself, the speed and flow of it increased notably. The energy draw decreased significantly. The memory itself ran cooler. It produced less heat. The motherboard itself produced less heat. All of those things which you're covering, unless you're doing high performance things, which you really shouldn't be. Video games and things, high-end whatevers. That's not what it's all about. That's not where it's all about either, my friends. If spirituality really is the way, then what are you doing with all these gamings and devices? And to put this into better terms, I spent a great portion of my life basically in fear. And basically, whenever I played video games, it wasn't from a state of happiness at all. It was almost from a state of disgruntlement or discontent, wanting to basically completionist, to complete this, to arrive at some means or end. And as soon as I would complete it and put it down, I had to do something else. There was always something else for the monster, the memory, the ego inside to fulfill. It was never satisfied, never satiated. There was always some game to beat. Always some achievement, there's always some requirement to try to fulfill, just to see if I don't know. It's like to see what this thing provided, even though at the end it was really nothing. especially if I played them on my own. Pokemon, Final Fantasy 7, doesn't matter what game it was, Fallout 3, even though I loved them. It was just the way that I was playing, it was very rot maxing. It was very haphazard. It was very at the cost of my own biology and the cost of my life and everything else, progress-wise. It wasn't very healthy. It wasn't very copacetic or integrated. It wasn't very happy at all. It wasn't very loving. A lot of us spend so much time on our devices, we rarely spend time outdoors to really taking things in. That's why I got a lot of people noticing the chemtrails now, because we're integrated enough. It's hard to cover that up. The chemtrails are nothing to worry about. It's just atmospheric seeding, tiny particulates, and if they would actually tell you guys about it, it would make you a lot less fearful. Viruses are just antibodies. They're just differentiated white blood cells. That's all they are. There's nothing dangerous or spooky about them at all. There's nothing dangerous or spooky about them. Some of you, what you need, what you need is not a hardware upgrade. What you need is to remove some of the metal and physicality of your physics. You need to remove some of the metal off your hardwares and chips, and that will speed things up. If you have them over your RAM, you need to take them off. Take them off, because they're not needed. It blocks the frequency of your angels. It blocks the access of your angels and teams. Your souls need access to them. They can't really operate these things otherwise. They can, but it requires an immense input of energy. It's very draining upon them. That's why glass-faced computers and phones are so... Plastic phones are so sought after. Of course, they're a lot easier to use. They're a lot more comfortable. They're a lot less taxing, a lot less stressful. Indefinitely, yes. It can make a person live almost indefinitely. It takes an immense input of energy. It's easier to do this for others than for myself. So hopefully I find a partner who is willing to do this for me as well. It doesn't matter who it is, just someone. It takes a colossal input of energy, one which I can do very easily for others. Sort of. It takes a lot of wine, a lot of ether, primary physicality, alcohol, or what you call ethanol, is a more suitable fuel for our cells than simple sugars. Even though they're both needed, one crosses the blood-brain barrier a little more easily. One fuels the cells a little more directly. Just with your own simple focus, you can live a very long time, if not almost indefinitely. It only quits when you do, when you stop, when you let go of the focus of your own energies. So why would you ever want to? As a kid, you know that joy. you knew and you know that joy is your primary key responsibility. It is everything. Your ability to live, to experience, to be, to emote, to live out this life. It's everything to you. To be happy, to be peaceful, and to find others who can help you do that as well. Short audio test, just to make sure there's no public secret or buzzing. Second audio test. Just make sure that everything's working reasonably clean. Let's try this. Trying this right now. Okay, another recording. Touching on this. Touching on that. Pull this up out of the way. Okay. Alright. Looks like we won't be using the audio cable. Appears to be damaged. Recently we've done the handle on this. See, turn 300 over and over again. You should normally touch oil like this. It's been stored in bottles or cans. It's been stored in bottles like this. It's full of estrogen. That's what makes you feel weird. It's not the oil itself. It's not the oil itself. That's why baby oil has always felt weird. I see. Yep, now this is mainly just to protect my soul. There we go. Keeps getting rained on. Are the dark days finally over? You'll see. You'll see. about 70% of yellow energy, what they can take or produce. It usually takes about a day to recover, a whole day. You can feel when you're recovering yourself. 'Cause your body stops aging. You've stop at around 64%. White blue mana is the easiest to flow. It's usually what I use. That's what I used in the past. It doesn't really affect the Merkaba field all that much. I think when I stretched my arm out to the side, I think I was really hurting my arm. I don't think I was impacting my Merkaba field. If I was to relate the physical pain to you, it feels like about a third less to your perceptive body, to this body, of what you think pain feels like in any direction. Sharpness, but it's a different kind of ache. And the more solid your energy, the more that it impacts or relies upon that field on your field. It's a lattice, it's a network which helps you to structure energy. To structure and receive energy, to send and receive energy. Solid your energy. I've always been using the white energy in the past. It comes from the mind. And it basically glides over the field. That energy structure, it's a lattice. It's a lattice, it's a network. It doesn't spin to my knowledge. It just has flat planes in almost all directions. It has a spherical bubble. They're defined pathways, solid, concrete. I'm going like this because that's what it feels like to me. Come out your feet and come out your head. But no, when I was using the solid energy, there comes this one almost doesn't impact the fields any. Someone's hugging me. It slows me down. It feels so good. But there's one that you can
use that's a blender, but that's been more recently. For about a month or so, I've been using both like the Mind Body. It's like a white blue light. It's not quite white, but it's not even blue, but it's like white blue. It's easy to send and receive. Okay, that's what I've been using. It doesn't take as much energy from here. It's like a halfway point, basically. It doesn't cause nearly as much headaches. That's what I've been using to help clear everybody. Strengthening the sun. About a 13-point increase so far. Damn, fuck, right? The energy fast, shit. Clearing for them. So it goes from the energy that I've been using is white, very white blue, then like a white blue, white, it's like a white blue, then like a white blue, it's like a white, then a little bit tad of blue, then it's like that energy from the heart, which basically looks red. It looks kind of like a maroon, pink, like a duller maroon, not really pink, but like a maroon. Then there's the yellow, then there's the yellow energy from the body. That looks yellow. And it moves slower. That's what I've been using most recently. What I impacted my Merkaba field with was that white blue energy. Basically, it's a crystalline lattice network. It surrounds and it situates you solidly on all sides. And whenever you send memories, it comes out like this. It comes like an arc from the middle of your pathway, depending upon how and where you're doing it. So for me, it was originating from somewhere between both the head and the heart. Like this is all being impacted. And like literally, like every time, after it got to a point, like after I felt like the tearing or the ripping or the breaking, it's hard to describe. It literally felt like there was like a lattice, there's a grid work. It's sort of like an invisible grid work just around me, but as I kept setting memories out, it was impacting them. It was like breaking them down, and like the imagery was like, that's you. You're breaking you apart, stupid. And it's like there's like literally like I could see like blood just like scattering, like shooting back like at me. Like I was like, it was just, oh my god, I fucking looked. I felt It's a sickness. It's a nausea, which is, it goes beyond. But basically, from all that, we've learned how to sense into the needs of others. We can sense when we're pulling on your Merkabas too hard. That only really happens with the currents of memories when we're sending, especially yellow energy, sending and receiving that. So we're using to do it with the light white energy. Least, a lot more, about 3 times as more, 3, 4, 5 times as more available energy on the planet. It's a lot easier. There's a lot much more of it to use the one that's in between. Heart energy. Comparatively, there's more heart energy in the world, in the universes. And then there's that yellow energy, which is like there's the most of it. That's the easiest to recover. We recover that almost naturally just by eating. But taking too much of this, it does make people hungry. And so the new focus that I have is called like the selector of halves. It's divisible by halves, basically it selects at 0.5%.
And if your energy drops below 50%, it pulls upon it like half as hard and half as much between, like, then it goes to 1/4, and it's like it doubles even more, basically. It prevents it from ever taking too much, and there's a huge pullback resistance even just dropping below 50. It doesn't pull as much. It's not summoning the same amount. You can feel it. You can feel when those ratios reach those borderlines. There's three or four of them, or there's at least 2 of them I've come across. So we'll continue for the sun. Alright, sending both heart energy, physical. It feels like I'm nuking our sun with energy, because it feels like I'm firing it all, drawing it to all kinds of places. Like if you were to look on it like the scale map, you'd see like little dots fall flying towards this one singular planet, this cluster. That should help improve to warm things. I don't want to take it any further than that, just because I don't want to deplete everyone's energies too much, just because you have to do something, do more healing work. This is the easiest to deplete, but it takes the longest to recover. Sort of halfway in between there. It doesn't pull upon the energy nearly as hard. This halfway point. Because it's almost like those divisible of thirds or threes, whatever that is. Now the reason you're getting headaches is because you're drinking contaminants from your plastics. Dear listener, it's not for the 90% of users, for that one person who said that in consciousness. She wants me to use a smaller selector, 33% or something like that. It's something that I'll have to make or made. It's too small to be useful. Because I would have to activate it too much. The 50 is very easy, it's very easy to use. I just spam it, basically. Throw it around a big ring. Okay, now the sun. Restoring those teams on within our universe for the suns. Coalescing souls. Solidifying them, giving them form, drawing them down into the physical space. You literally have to summon it. It almost feels like you're pulling them down into the world. They float on the outside of the surface, and they get drawn down a dimension, a plane of existence. And they become a little more solid and able to interact with our